Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good day. Today we are going to continue our lecture on the cell reproduction.
Tuanku Sahrul, saya. Bolehkah kita mulakan sekarang? Boleh, persilakan.
Okay, we have gone through the mitosis process in the previous lecture. Now we look at the sexual reproduction, which is a single parent produce the offspring. All offspring are genetically identical to one another to the parent. While the sexual reproduction, chromosomes are duplicated in germ cell. Germ cells undergo meiosis and cytoplasmic division. Cellular descendant of germ cell become gametes, and gametes meet at the fertilization. For sexual reproduction, it involves the meiosis, gamete production, and also fertilization. Sexual reproduction to produce a genetic variation among the offspring. Sexual reproduction also shuffle the alleles. Throughout the sexual reproduction, offspring inherit new combination of allele, which leads to variation in traits. This variation in trait is basic for evolutionary change. Homologous chromosomes carry different alleles. Cell has two of each chromosome, one chromosome of each pair from mother and one from the father. Paternal and maternal chromosome carry different alleles. So this is an example for the gamete formation. For human, for male from testes, for female is an ovary. From plant, it can be anther and also the ovary. Okay, basically for chromosome number, sum total of chromosome in a cell in germ cell are diploid, which is 2n, while the gamete is in a haploid, which is n. Meiosis process half the chromosome numbers. Meiosis consists of two divisions, two consecutive nuclear division, which involve the meiosis 1 and also meiosis 2. DNA is not duplicated between the division, which is it also produces the 4 haploid nuclei form. Okay, this is the meiosis 1. Basically, what happened here, for each homolog in the cell partner will be separated. And during the meiosis 2, what happened here, the two sister chromatids of each duplicated chromosome are separated to each other, which involve the centromere division. There are two stages of meiosis, meiosis 1, meiosis 2. Meiosis 1 consists of prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, and telophase 1. While the meiosis 2 consists of prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, and lastly is the telophase 2. So here is the diagram of the process of the meiosis 1. It almost the same like meiosis 2, but there are differences here. Now we look at the prophase 1. Each duplicated condensed chromosome paired with its homologous. What happened here? The homologous swap the segment, and each chromosome become attached to microtubule of newly forming spindle. Okay, during metaphase 1, chromosomes are pushed and pulled into the middle of cell. The sister chromatid of one homologous orient toward to one pole, and those of other homolog are towards opposite pole. then the spindle is now fully formed. Okay, during anaphase 1, the homologous chromosomes segregate from each other. The sister chromatid of each chromosome remain attached. For telophase 1, the chromosome arrive at the opposite poles and the cytoplasm divide. There are two haploid cells now, and this is where the meiosis 1 is completed. Okay, here is the diagram of the meiosis 2.
Kedua.
Before we have 4 chromosomes. Now we only have 2 chromosomes for each cells. For prophase 2, in a meiosis 2, microtubule attached to the kinetochores of the duplicated chromosome. Motor protein drive the movement of the chromosome toward the spindle equator. And during metaphase 2, all the duplicated chromosomes are lined up at the spindle equator midway between the poles. And during the anaphase 2, the sister chromatid separated to become independent chromosome. It is most likely like in the anaphase in the mitosis. Okay, the motor protein interact with the microtubules to move the separated chromosome to opposite poles. Now at the telophase 2, the chromosomes arrive at opposite ends of the cell. The nuclear envelope forms around each set of chromosomes. The cytoplasm also start to divide, and now there are 4 haploid cells has been produced. Crossing over is the event during that happened during the prophase 1 in the meiosis 1. Each chromosome zip to its homologous, and all 4 chromatids are closely aligned, and non-sister chromosomes exchange the segment. Here, this is pair of the homologous chromosome. Okay, different sister chromatid will cross-link to each other, change the segment. So now we have a new segment of the chromosome. Effect of the crossing over. After crossing over, each chromosome contains both maternal and parental segment, which is create new alleles combination in the offspring. Random alignment also can contribute to the variety of the offspring. During the transition between the prophase 1 and metaphase 1, microtubule from spindle post attached to kinetochores of chromosome. Initial contact between the microtubule and the chromosome are random. Either the maternal or paternal member of the homologous pair can end up at either pole. The chromosome in a gamete are a mix of chromosomes from the 2 parents. The possible chromosome combination, as a result of random alignment, the number of possible combination of chromosomes in a gamete is
2%.
2n. N is the number of the chromosome type. Here is the illustration of possibility of the chromosome combination. Okay, this is the illustration for the animal life cycle. It's from zygote, it can goes to the mitosis, and from the sex cell, it goes to the meiosis and go to the fertilization and become back to the zygote. Okay, another importance of the cell reproduction is for the spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis is the process of the sperm production. It starts with the spermatogonium, which is a diploid male germ cells, and it divides into a primary spermatocyte, which is diploid in number, and it goes to the meiosis 2, which is a secondary spermatocyte, which is haploid number, and finally it produces the spermatid, which is a haploid number with a 4 number of sperm. For female reproduction, meiosis is very important for the oogenesis. Oogenesis is the process to produce ovum in a female reproductive system. It starts with the oogonium, which is a diploid in number, and then it can uh, and then it it grow as a primary oocyte, also diploid in number, and when the meiosis happen, it produce the secondary oocyte, which is haploid in number, and then it divide again to produce one ovum and also another 3 polar bodies, which is also haploid in chromosome number. Lastly is the fertilization process. Male and female gametes unite and nuclei fuse. Fusion of two haploid nuclei produce a diploid nucleus in the zygote, which two gametes unite is random add to the variation among the offspring. Factor that contributing to the variation among offspring that you have to remember, first is the crossing over during the prophase 1, random alignment of chromosome at the metaphase 1, random combination of gametes at the fertilization. Here is the comparison between the mitosis and also meiosis. For mitosis, function is for asexual reproduction, growth and repair, while the function of the meiosis is for sexual reproduction. For mitosis, it occurs in somatic cell and also can produce the clone, while the meiosis occurs in the germ cell only and to produce the viable offspring. The differences between prophase and prophase 1. For prophase 1 in the mitosis, homolog pairs do not interact with each other, while in the prophase 1 in the meiosis, homolog pair become a zip together and crossing over occur. During the metaphase 1 in the meiosis, the homologous chromosomes are separated from each other, while in the anaphase and also in the anaphase 2, okay, in the meiosis and the mitosis, the sister chromatid of chromosomes are separated from each other. So result from the mitosis and meiosis, mitosis produce two diploid cells and each are identical to the parents, while the meiosis produce 4 haploid cells and differ from the parents and one one another. Okay, for the conclusion, cell reproduction occurs as an organism become multicellular and as a tissue undergo repairs. Cell division consists of mitosis and cytokinesis. Cell cycle are regulated by cell cycle control system. Tumor happen when the cell no longer in the cell cycle system. Alright, end of the lecture. Thank you for your attention.